I was like canceled, like Monique. Why is she canceled?
Mm-hmm.
I had to revisit that because it was like, it didn't make sense to me, babe. I'm like, so what did she do? She said something you didn't like? Like, so she didn't work for 13 years after that?
Right.
And then I know Tyler wouldn't support that. He never told nobody not to work with her.
Tyler Perry?
Yeah. When I talked to him, he was like, nah, I never told no one not to work with her. And I said, but you Tyler Perry, and you never told anyone to work with her.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And he was like, I never looked at it like that.
You're looking at it and you're saying that everything that's wrong with our culture is why I'm a success.
Wow.
So when I actually got a chance to talk to her, she was like,
life is a mystery. If you take away the mystery and everything was certain, you wouldn't need faith.
Keep it moving. The worst that could happen if everything was true, all I got to do is repent sincerely from
50 Cent's hard-hitting documentary has reignited intense public discussion, placing Dallas Bishop T.D. Jakes at the center of rising online speculation over his alleged presence at high-profile gatherings linked to Diddy. As 50 Cent challenges long-standing narratives and shines a spotlight on powerful connections, Jake's name has entered the wider conversation, with reports suggesting he may consider legal action against claims he views as misleading. With other major figures already facing scrutiny, Jake has emerged as a key voice, pushing back against the growing attention. The situation has sparked debate and curiosity, leaving many questioning why these claims are resurfacing now, and what, if any, real connection existed as competing narratives continue to collide.
it's good.
Here we are.
Great.
Anytime, sir. He was ready to get shit open the house.
Okay. Great. Y'all, all the people who prayed, all the people who texted, all the people who had prayer pictures, all the people who were concerned and sent love and sent notes. Just great. Thank you. Just great. Not afraid to die. Don't want to hurt my kids. The people who love me, the church hates me, the world call me the God who sent me.
On November 25th, Bishop T.D. Jakes filed a defamation lawsuit against Pastor Dwayne Youngblood following public accusations tied to events from many years ago. Claims Youngblood said were backed by witnesses and records, and that quickly ignited controversy. As the situation unfolded, Jake's name began appearing in wider discussions connected to Diddy-related legal filings, and was further amplified by public commentary from comedian Cat Williams. Adding fuel to the fire, 50 Cent has also weighed in through his recent documentary and online commentary, aggressively questioning powerful relationships and pushing these names deeper into the spotlight. Together, the legal action, media attention, and 50 Cent's sharp scrutiny have intensified pressure on Jake, placing him at the center of a growing storm where influence, reputation, and public narratives collide.
I can't even imagine being 18, 19 years of age. This person is killing it, and they're saying to you, come on in, let's talk. And so I did. I went in. We sat down at a very long dining room table in a room that she had. And for 2 hours, it was unbelievable. Pouring of heart, crying, him talking about my father. We talking about these scenarios. And I inwardly just knew I had finally found someone who could get it. Someone who understood. I'm sitting at this table, and for the first time talking to any man, I got tears coming down my face because somebody gets me. Somebody understood what I was going through. Well, after sitting there and having this long discourse with him, I finally look at my watch and I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to go. I got to get this car back to my mother. She's going to kill me. So I said to Bishop, I got to get up. And I got up from the table. He got up from the table. He walked around toward the way I had to exit quicker than I got over there. And when I started to walk past him, he pulled me to himself, wrapped his arms around me, and tried to kiss me. And in that moment, I literally died. I could not. I tell you, to this day, I can't remember how I got out of that place. But I remember driving home with all kinds of crazy thoughts and what in the world am I going to do now? And I finally get home, get in the house, get in the bed. I'm going to try to go to sleep. And I get to sleep and get up in the morning. And in the morning, I step into our bathroom and my home phone rings. My mother answers the phone and she says to me, "Wayne, it's Elder Jakes." And I get on that phone. And when I get on that telephone, I can hear water. He is sitting in a bathtub. And in that thing, he says to me, without any hesitation, "There's 3 things I need you to do. The first one is, when I come to Pittsburgh, you're going to be the only person I sleep with. The second one is, you can't sleep with anybody else because I don't want to give my wife anything. And thirdly, I will take care of you the rest of your life." I can't to this day remember how I got off that phone, but I do know I made a decision that I wasn't going to the service that night. And eventually I told my mother, "I'm not going to go to the service tonight." She says, No. You know, we got a rule in this house. If we go, you go. I never told her what he had done. I went to church, and the most humiliating thing imaginable happened that night at church. Bishop Jakes, getting up to preach, speaks into that microphone. "I'm going to ask young minister Youngblood to read for me." And after all of that drama of the last 24 hours, I had to read.
Jake was first mentioned in Lil Rod's lawsuit involving Diddy, where claims emerged suggesting Diddy relied on Jake's public stature and religious influence to help strengthen his image. The filing alleges that Jake's leadership at the Potter's house played a role in opening doors to influential circles and reinforcing Diddy's reputation. While Jake has firmly denied any wrongdoing, he has not directly addressed claims related to his attendance at Diddy-linked events, a silence that has drawn renewed attention, especially as figures like 50 Cent continue to spotlight and question powerful relationships in the wider controversy.
Renowned Dallas pastor T.D. Jakes is named in a federal lawsuit against musician Sean Diddy Combs.
It's filed by a producer that worked with Combs. It discusses how the singer planned to leverage his relationship with the bishop to soften the impact on his public image of Casey Ventura's lawsuit. Ventura is a former girlfriend of Combs who filed her own lawsuit in November alleging abuse, violence, and sex trafficking.
Meanwhile, Combs' lawyer is criticizing the raids at 2 of the hip-hop mogul's homes in a federal sex trafficking investigation. He called them an unprecedented ambush. It comes as we're getting a new look inside Combs' L.A. house after the search by federal agents. Carter Evans has details about what the feds have uncovered so far.
Guns, cell phones, and other electronics are among the items taken from the homes of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, according to a source familiar with the search warrant performed by federal agents at his properties in Los Angeles and Miami. TMZ says this video shows the aftermath of the raid inside Combs' LA mansion. Drawers empty, documents scattered, and safes open and searched. Hours after the raid started, Combs was seen walking around the Miami Opa-locka airport, according to TMZ, which also obtained this video. Later, at the same airport, authorities arrested Combs' associate, Brendan Paul, and charged him with drug possession. In a civil suit filed against Combs by former music producer Rodney Jones, Paul was accused of being a drug and gun mule who allegedly aided Combs in sex trafficking. Yesterday, Diddy's lawyer called the law enforcement action nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. Could this federal investigation have come out of these private lawsuits?
Oh, absolutely. If it involves sex trafficking or drugs or weapons or other illegal behavior.
Lori Levinson is a former federal prosecutor.
They've decided this is worth a lot of resources across the country. So once they've done these searches, they have evidence to follow up on. And if they've got it, they'll move on it.
We still here, you're rocking with the best.
Even though Combs has not been publicly named as a target of the investigation, he says he's now prepared to...
Multiple witnesses have claimed to have seen takes at Diddy's high-profile gatherings, including his widely talked about themed events, adding another layer of intrigue to the ongoing controversy. One individual, Gandal, has publicly stated that Jake was present and openly questioned why a prominent religious leader would maintain such close proximity to Diddy. Gandal has previously suggested that certain faith figures were connected to Diddy's inner circle, implying that some relationships may have been shielded by polished public images. These statements have fueled further debate, intensifying scrutiny, and raising fresh questions as powerful reputations and private associations continue to be examined under a sharper spotlight.
2 drinks. And if those girls was drinking out those bottles that he said Diddy laced, and he could show on camera, and he could show that some people had passed out or some people were acting a certain way after they had those drinks, he won his case on that one.
When you was around Diddy, was he doing drugs, like party drugs, like ecstasy and stuff like that?
Diddy wasn't the dude he is today when I was around him. You understand? He had just started, when I was about to leave, he had just started with because he never smoked weed, he never smoked cigarettes, I never seen him do cocaine or none of that shit. You understand? He would have it for people to do it. You understand? It's certain of his girls like to do it, and he would make sure it would be there. But he wasn't the one that did it. Diddy didn't start getting hooked on drugs until he got hooked on those painkillers. After he got hooked on those painkillers, he started drinking more, because he wouldn't even drink hard liquor. He was only drinking champagne, Don P or Cristal. He was not drinking hard liquor then.
Yeah, that's real talk, man. And he also claims that, Diddy, he was using TD Jakes to fix his image. You believe that?
Well, we saw that to be true anyway. That's what he was trying to do all that time. That's why TD Jakes was there, to try to fix his image.
Diddy, fiercely protective of his billion-dollar empire, has always treated his public image as a top priority. Reports claim he made substantial donations to TD Jakes' mega-church, with allegations suggesting the relationship helped strengthen his public standing. Since Jake's name surfaced in the lawsuit, sources say the pressure has mounted heavily, with one incident reportedly leaving him visibly overwhelmed during a public appearance. People close to him describe a leader under intense strain, deeply worried about being drawn further into the legal and media storm, and focused on keeping the situation from escalating as scrutiny around powerful connections continues to grow.
So I want to get right into it, man. How you feel about these rumors surrounding, Diddy and TD Jakes?
Man, what I think about it is this, when I grew up in the church, the sinners was not supposed to have the same atmosphere with the saints. You have to be able to separate the two. So I'm looking at him as a saint going to a party that ain't nothing but sin, drinking, maybe fornication, man on man, woman on woman, he on she. But maybe he there to lay some hands on somebody. Maybe he there to save some souls. I know he got a contract with Revolt, so I'm just like, it's just real strange that he would be found at any kind of Diddy party or any kind of place with Diddy unless it's in a business atmosphere. So now what he's doing is he's making the Christians look real bad right about now.
And you've been to these parties, right?
Oh yeah, I was there when he was doing the white parties in the Hamptons and the whole 9 yards. So I know what goes on at the parties. If they probably got a little bit more freakier, as time went on, because they got to the point whereas that they didn't even care. It used to be secretly, where people used to go to, separate rooms and different rooms, and they wasn't doing that out in the public, but now they don't care. Men kissing men and all this other that's just crazy.
So why do you think he was going to these parties?
I think that he's going to the Diddy parties, bruh. If he's going, well, we know he's going to the Diddy parties, and I know that it's, I know what usually happens at the Diddy party, or what we told us happened at the Diddy parties. Maybe he needs to see it for himself, man. Maybe he needs to go there and really be involved in some things that could help save some individuals while they going to those parties. Or maybe he just going to, man, it's hard to even talk about. Why would you find a religious man, when you know that the saints supposed to separate themselves from the sinners? And why would a religious man like himself be at a party which ain't nothing but sin that's going on, bro? Whether it's drinking, maybe fornicating, maybe, like I said, men on men, women on women. It's hard to put in perspective unless he's involving himself what is actually going on at the parties. It's hard, brother. Bruh, you can't, I really don't know why, as a spiritual advisor to him, that they buddy while he got a party with him like that and be at his parties. It's got to be, maybe it's something more that meets the...
Reports have emerged claiming that a religious figure appears in footage reportedly collected during federal activity at Diddy's Miami property, though authorities have not confirmed any identity. Some commentators, including Gondal and individuals connected to the broader controversy, have speculated that the person could be T.D. Jake, a claim that remains unverified. According to sources, the possibility of such material becoming public has heightened concern around Jake's, as any release could significantly impact his public standing and invite further scrutiny. While no official confirmation has been made, the speculation alone has intensified pressure, highlighting how unproven claims and circulating narratives continue to amplify tension around an already sensitive situation.
All his celebrity friends is going to speak or say nothing until they're either contacted or they know what they really got.
So you feel like they might be worried that they might be on tape at one of Diddy parties doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing?
I think that the celebrities that may be worried is because what Lil Rob said. Lil Rob said in his affidavit that Diddy had every room taped and bugged. Diddy had, can you imagine? He had every room taped and bugged, and they found little bugs or little tape recorders. I mean, little those micro projectors or whatever like that, or video cameras. They found them in the house, bro. So by them having those things in the house, and people know there's drugs, there's alcohol, there's loose women, there's loose men. woman on woman, man on man, all kind of crazy shit. Bruh, they just wondering who or when they're gonna let this stuff be known.
Several legal analysts have pointed to a disturbing pattern within the allegations surrounding Diddy and those linked to him, suggesting the accusations center less on impulse and more on power, influence, and control. In a similar vein, the individual accusing TD Jake has described experiences marked by imbalance, pressure, and emotional intimidation, claiming he was made to feel diminished and subjected to authority in a harmful way. These statements, while contested, have added another layer to the broader controversy, shifting the focus toward questions of manipulation, hierarchy, and how positions of power may be misused behind closed doors, intensifying public concern and scrutiny around leadership and accountability.
Why did you believe in these cases, and why didn't you believe in others that you were presented with?
Well, the thing with a sexual abuser is they follow a pattern. They fall to type, and you become very clear on what that pattern is, particularly a serial sexual abuser. And these cases were all identical in the facts, identical in the story. It was beginning, middle, conclusion.
They know each other?
Boom. None of them knew each other.
Did you have them meet?
No.
Did you have them coordinate stories?
No, no.
Do you think they had any contact with each other before they came to you?
Absolutely not.
And when you were talking to them, well, first, the ones that you didn't take, why not?
Stories didn't make sense. Stories didn't fit the pattern. Stories were not credible. I mean, this is my 30th year as a lawyer. I've tried over 100 cases. I can assess whether somebody's story is credible. And if I don't believe it, I'm not going to put my name on a pleading, sign it, and file it in court. I'm not doing that. And that's what I did with the 60 plus cases that I rejected.
And this is not really your area of expertise. If people look you up, celebrity lawsuits is not really where you make your bones. Why this?
Well, I was involved in the Weinstein litigation. Right. I was involved in the Paducah litigation. I was involved in the Hayden litigation. Why did I do this? I do this because it's important. I think it's important for people to be heard, have their chance to get the power back. Because sexual abuse, sexual assault is about one thing: taking power, humiliating, demeaning a person and a victim. It has nothing to do with sex. And so I think it's important. I think it's important to get the word out. I think it's important for men to feel, hey, look, I can come out and be heard just like a woman could.
And the defense that, look, they knew what they were getting into. These are regrets. They went there, they partied, and now they see a pocket.
No, I don't think so. My client
were they gay men?
One was bisexual. The other ones were not. And they were going there. The client was bisexual, worked for Diddy. Diddy owed him money for doing errands for him and being his step and fetch, for lack of a better word. And I think it was a power move. It was a clear power move because this guy had the nerve to come to him and say, you owe me money. And so Diddy said, come on to the Intercontinental Hotel. He gives him the drug, knocks him out, sodomizes him. And I won't use the term that my client used, but said he tried to turn me into his B word. And I think it was a clear power move on each and every occasion. I think the ones that took place in the Park Hyatt, that wasn't partying. My client met him at a nightclub in the city here with a music producer. He didn't think he was getting into that. The man who was in the Hamptons, he thought he was going to a white party. Who wouldn't want to go to a white party? I would have gone to a white party back in the day. I wouldn't go now, but they went there innocently, and this is what happened.
They saw what he did to Cassie. With the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know that nobody in America liked that. So now, these people are represented by a brand. Whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies, they're not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey buddy, we got you on this tape, and Girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, you know, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking, and they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape, because if he had 250 tapes all over, 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician. But they didn't think they was being watched. And Brother Love was watching.
Yeah, I mean, TD Jakes, he hasn't even came out and said anything. And him and Diddy was real cool.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, man. And I know the people in the congregation over there is shaking in their boots because this man didn't led them probably allegedly led them to damnation, because those people's hearts are going to be broken if that man is seen on those tapes doing anything. Because people always put their faith in the pastor instead of putting their faith in God. And what they need to do is understand that he's just a man. And he has a history. It's not looking too good for him.
So you feel like celebs are worried that they might be on tape?
Oh, they know. That's why they ain't speaking up or saying nothing. Yeah, I was at a Diddy party, but I know I ain't do nothing. When you don't know somebody's taping you, when you don't know that somebody is videoing you in some kind of form or fashion, you got that alcohol, you got the drugs in you, they're a little loose, bruh. They let down all their inhibitions. The music is pumping. He said it himself. He got it so hot in there that you got to take your clothes off.
Some observers speculate that TD Jakes may have been another high-profile figure drawn into Diddy's alleged sphere of influence, though no claims have been proven. According to circulating theories, Diddy was said to invite powerful guests to private gatherings, where it is alleged situations were carefully orchestrated and discreetly documented to create leverage.